Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith was an absolute war. Like, both fighters showed courage. They showed determination. They showed heart. They showed resilience, right? They showed the warrior code. You know, when Chris Eubank Sr. always say the warrior code, these two fighters embodied what the warrior code is about. Incredible fight. Like, Beterbiev and Bivol was probably the best fight on the night. But if you thought about any other fight, it would be Callum Smith and Joshua Buatsi. Incredible fight. Like, I really, really enjoyed that fight. It was an amazing fight. For Callum Smith, do you know what? First of all, I picked Joshua Buatsi to beat Callum Smith. So I hold my hands up. I was wrong on that one. Callum Smith actually proved me wrong. Like, Callum Smith, I thought, you know, with his experience and the fact that he's become world champion in the middleweight, by the way, before, and he had some really good fights with Beterbiev and Canelo, although he had lost. I thought that Callum Smith would not be the same fighter. He wouldn't have the hunger or the will to be able to, you know, get in there, get stuck in and fight a younger fighter who has got more to prove in Joshua Buatsi. But Smith, props to him, all credit to Smith. He proved me wrong on the night. He was incredible. He was sharp, right? He was on it. He looked like he wanted to be in there, and he looked like he was not going to leave the ring without the win. And that's exactly what he did. Callum Smith was simply incredible in that fight, right? His experience of, you know, fighting at the highest level, at the world level, actually proved to, you know, stand him in good stead on Saturday night. He was great. Callum Smith was incredible. He really, you know, showed his maturity. He showed his experience. He showed his boxing IQ, and he showed that, you know, he still deserves to be in the division. The lightweight division is stacked, and Callum Smith just showed on Saturday that he deserves to be in there. And you can't take anything away from him. You got to give him all the props. Now, Joshua Buatsi, I was absolutely not surprised. I wouldn't say surprised, but it's just a weird one with Joshua Buatsi. Like, I really like Joshua Buatsi because I think he's very talented. I think with the talent that Joshua Buatsi has, he could go all the way to the top. When Artur Beterbiev and Bivol probably have left the division, Joshua Buatsi and Anthony Yarde could be those guys up there. But it just seems as though there's something in Joshua Buatsi's mentality which shows that, or which tells him that he needs to get in there and have a war all the time. Like, why is Joshua Buatsi always in the pocket and basically ready to be hit? Right, like, Joshua Buatsi is always in the pocket and is always ready to be hit. Like, he loves to have a tear up. He loves to have a war. And in that Callum Smith fight, he was literally he wasn't on his toes. He was literally flat-footed in the danger zone, throwing bombs and getting bombs thrown at him. Callum Smith is not a feather duster. He can punch. And of course, Joshua Buatsi has got a fantastic chin. But guys, in the boxing ring, like, you can't bank on your chin. Like, your chin is the last resort in terms of defense. You need to get out of the way. You need to use your feet to get out of the way. Your chin is the last thing to bank on, because when you get cracked with a very good shot, you can lose your punch resistance. And when that is gone, you're finished in the ring. And I feel like Joshua Buatsi, he's a tough fighter. He's got heart. He's got determination. Right? He's resilient. He can go toe to toe. He can stand there and have a fight. But I just feel like he needs to work so much on his footwork to be able to get out of the way and stop getting hit so many times. He's always in the pocket, ready to get hit and get smashed. And it's great for the neutral, for the boxing fans. It's great, right? Like, we love it. It was a war. It was fantastic. But I tell you, this fight has actually taken a lot out of both fighters, physically and mentally. Like, I remember Muhammad Ali saying that the Trailer in Manila fight with Joe Frazier took a lot out of him because it felt like he was dying in that fight. Ali said it felt like death in that fight because it was such a grueling 15-round fight that, you know, and the arena was so hot that the condition in which they fought, he said it felt like it felt near to death. And I feel like that is literally getting in there and having a tear up like Callum Smith and Joshua Buatsi had. These fights, they can take a lot out of a fighter's life. And every time you get in the ring, I think boxers say it all the time. And I've heard, when you get in the ring, you lose something. You lose yourself. Teddy Atlas has been saying it all the time. When you get in the ring, you lose yourself. And I feel like this fight has taken a lot out of Callum Smith and Joshua Buatsi. It was a great fight. It was fantastic. But I think Joshua Buatsi just stays in the pocket for far too long and gets hit too often. And that is detrimental, or will be detrimental to his career if he keeps having these wars. It was a great fight. I wouldn't mind seeing a second fight because I think the way the fight went, if the judges would have given it to Buatsi, I don't think many people would have complained because it was a close fight. It was very competitive. Both fighters hurt each other. Both fighters landed incredible shots. So I wouldn't complain if Buatsi got it, but I think the right man in Callum Smith got it on the night. And I'd love to see a second fight. One thing about Joshua Buatsi, I think he needs to look at his training situation. Seriously, Joshua Buatsi needs to look at his training situation because he's been in the US training with Virgil Hunter, and I just feel like I've not seen much improvement in Joshua Buatsi in terms of his footwork and his head movement and getting away from these shots. I feel like I've not seen it yet, right? And look, he lives in the UK, stays in America to train, which is a lot of travel. I feel like fighters are always performing the best when they train not far from where they live, right? Because a lot of travel from the US to the UK to do press conferences, then go back, train, have a training camp, and then come back for fights, and then come back again after fights, and then go back again when there's another fight. It's way too much travel, right? Too many, airtime. He should be very close to his training situation. He should be comfortable where he's at. So I think he needs to look at his training setup and think about what he wants to do next, because I don't think he's improving, and he needs to look at that and probably make some changes. We've got great trainers in the UK, that he can partner with, and I think they can get the best out of him because he's still young to be able to come back from this loss, have a second fight with Callum Smith, and then go on to fight, Anthony Yard, which will be a massive fight in the UK because we want to see that fight anyway. So look, props to both fighters. They went to war. It was a great fight. I'd love to see it again. You guys get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about that fight. Do you want to see it again? Or, who did you pick going into that fight? What do you think about Callum Smith? Where do you think Callum Smith needs to go next? Where do you think Buatsi needs to go next? I think they need to have a second fight because they gel really well. The style matchup is really good. But I think Buatsi needs to improve. Callum Smith, I think he's got bags of experience. He's an old dog. And that showed on the night. So get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this fight. As always, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments in the section below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.